Sign it. Adrian's voice was quiet, but it didn't need volume to cut. It was the sound of a door slamming shut. Ariel's hand hovered over the paper, the pen a dead weight. Just tell me why, she whispered, the words crumbling. Why does it have to be me? He didn't move from the window, a silhouette against the city lights. Because it does. That's not an answer. A desperate laugh caught in her throat. My brother, he's all I have. And you're telling me to just sign my life away? I'm telling you to sign it to get him back. He finally turned. His face was all shadow, no comfort. The why is a luxury you can't afford. Tears blurred the signature line. She saw her brother's face, his stupid, hopeful smile. The pen scratched, an ugly sound. Ariel Reed. It looked like a stranger's name. He moved then, so fast she flinched. His hand covered hers on the desk, cold and final. From this moment, he said, his breath a ghost on her cheek. Your life is not your own. Do you understand? All she could do was nod, a trapped, frantic little motion. The next morning he slid an envelope across her desk. Rules. Her hands shook as she tore it open. The first line made her stomach drop. Rule number 1. Do not be alone with me after midnight. What is this? She asked, her voice too high. After midnight? What happens then? A shadow of something, impatience, anger, crossed his face. You think this is a game? With rules you can question? He leaned in, his voice dropping to a whisper that felt like a violation. Break my rules and I will burn your world to the ground. Do you understand me now? She could only stare, mute with fear. That night, the silence in her apartment screamed. The locked door in his office called to her. What are you hiding? The next day her fingers found the keypad. She didn't know the code, but her hand moved anyway. A green light, a soft click. It knows me. It knows me. Someone opened that door. She spun. He was at the end of the hall, perfectly still. And only I can do that. The way he said it, it wasn't just anger. It was fear. Later, a text. We're watching. Don't leave him. She pressed her back against her apartment wall, sliding to the floor. What have I done? The black car was a stain on the edge of her vision. Her phone rang. Adrian. You saw it, he said. It wasn't a question. Who are they? She begged. Just tell me that much. Long pause. She could hear him breathing. They're the reason you're here. That's not. Why do you never give me a straight answer? Because you wouldn't believe me if I did. The line went dead. In his office that night she found the photo. The woman was her. She was her. Who is she? He was behind her. He always was. Put it down. No, tell me, who is she? She's dead. His voice was ragged. She's dead because of me. Is that what you want to hear? The confession hung between them. She looks like me, Ariel whispered. Yes, they think you're her, and they will come for you. Glass exploded. She was on the floor. Footsteps, heavy, slow. Her phone lit up. Adrian, don't move. A whisper, in the dark. Her name, twisted into a threat. Then he was there, hauling her up. They marked you. He showed her the symbol on her wrist. This isn't a game anymore. Why? She sobbed. Why is this happening to me? He caught her wrists. Because I looked at you and I saw a way out, he snarled, his composure shattering. He stared at her, horrified. And now you're in it, and I can't get you out. Days later she confronted him. I can't do this. I can't breathe. You're alive, he said, hollow. Am I? This isn't living. This is just waiting to die. What do you want from me? He shouted. You want an apology? Fine. I'm sorry. Sorry I ever walked into your miserable life. Is that what you need to hear? She stared at him. I need you to look me in the eye and tell me I'm going to survive this." He went very still. He couldn't do it. Then came the final betrayal. Lena, her one friend, met her eyes across the office. A tiny, sad shake of her head. Then she walked into Adrian's office. That night her phone lit up. A message from her brother's number. "They found me. Help." The door clicked open. Adrian stood there. "They're here. We have to go. Now." "How did you?" "I have audio, cameras, everywhere. I've always been listening." The bunker was a tomb of screens. "You've been watching," she said flat. "I was keeping you alive." "For what?" The scream tore from her. "What did I ever do to you?" He turned, old and tired. "You existed." He threw the paper at her. "Proactive decoy. A shield. You hired me to be a human shield. I used you to draw them out," he said, ashamed. "And it worked." "Why me?" Her. "Why did it have to be me?" He didn't speak. He pulled up the files. 2 birth certificates, 2 names, 1 birth date, 1 orphanage. No, that's not. You're lying." He grabbed her arm, holding it next to the photo. The same birthmark. The same. A sound left her, a guttural, wounded thing. She fell, the sobs racking her body. It wasn't just a dead woman. It was a dead sister, a whole life gone. She looked up at him, raw. You got my sister killed." He didn't look away. He took the full force of her grief. Yes, the tears stopped. The shaking stopped. "Tell me who they are," she said, dead. "Ariel, tell me. The syndicate. They think she stole from them. They think you have it. Do I?" "No." She walked to the table, picked up the gun. "Do you know how to use that?" he asked. "No." She looked him dead in the eye. "You're going to teach me." For a long moment, the only sound was the hum of the servers. "All right," he said, a quiet surrender. "Safety's on, for now." Her thumb found the lever. "Good." His voice was low, a teacher's voice. "Now, put it down. You learn to respect it before you learn to fire it." She placed it back on the steel table. He circled her. "The first lesson isn't about shooting. It's about listening. Can you do that? Can you listen?" Her silence was her answer. "Good." He stopped in front of her. "Your only advantage is that they think you're a scared little girl." His eyes held hers. "Are you? Still?" "No." "I can't hear you." "No." "Solid. A gun is a last resort. Your first weapon," he tapped his temple, "is here. Your second is knowing more than they do. Your third is running. The gun is fourth. Do you understand the priority?" A sharp nod. "Say it." "The gun is fourth." Her voice flat. "For the next 48 hours you don't sleep. You don't grieve. You learn." He turned to the screens, to her brother's dorm. "Because he doesn't have 48 hours. And neither do we." The mention of her brother fueled the cold fire in her veins. "Then stop talking," she said, picking up the gun again. The weight felt familiar now. "And start teaching." A ghost of grim acknowledgement crossed his face. He picked up a second pistol. "All right," he said, ejecting the magazine with a practiced snap. "Watch." And for the first time since she'd met him, Adrian Kane began to give her a straight answer. It wasn't with words. It was with the language of violence, and she was a quick study. For 48 hours, the world shrank to the 4 walls of the bunker. The air grew thick with the smell of gun oil and sweat. He was a merciless instructor. She was a relentless student. "Again," he'd say, his voice stripped of all emotion, when her hands trembled too much to reassemble the Glock. "Your sister died because her hands shook." The words were a deliberate cruelty, a psychological scalpel. He wasn't just teaching her to handle a weapon. He was cauterizing her grief into fuel. Each mention of Sloane was a twist of the knife, and he watched her closely, gauging the reaction in her eyes. The tears had stopped, replaced by a frightening, focused calm. She learned the architecture of violence, pressure points, lines of sight, how to turn a pen, a key, a rolled-yard magazine into something lethal. He taught her the way a bomb disposal expert might, with cold, clinical precision, and the unspoken understanding that one mistake was the only one you'd ever make. "You're not learning to fight them," he corrected her, as she practiced a disarmament move for the 20th time. "You're learning to survive them. There's a difference. Fighting implies you think you can win. What does surviving imply?" she asked. "That you're willing to do things the person you were yesterday would never have considered." He held up a small, needle-like device. "This is a micro-explosive. It's not for them, it's for you. If they take you, you press this to your carotid and push the button. It will be quicker than anything they have planned." She took it. The metal was cold. She didn't flinch. On the second night, he showed her the blueprints. "The syndicate's operational base is here, the old Grantham building. Your brother is on the 3rd sub-level." She studied the schematics, her eyes tracing the ventilation shafts, the guard patrol routes. "How many?" 20, maybe 30. Highly trained. "And we are 2. "No," he said, his gaze intense. "We are 1. And a weapon they don't understand." He was pushing her, seeing how much of the truth she could hold. The screens around them still showed her brother's dorm, empty now. The message: "They found me. 0.5. Help," was a ghost haunting the room. "You lied about the audio in my apartment," she stated, not looking up from the blueprints. "The initial feed, the one that caught the attack, it was real. But the rest, the silence in my apartment. You lost the feed days ago, didn't you? That's why you're so desperate. You're blind." Adrian went very still. "Yes. And my brother? This live feed is a recording from yesterday. He's already gone." "Yes." She finally looked at him. There was no anger left. There was only calculation. "So everything from this point is based on a guess." "On a pattern," he corrected, his voice low. "Sloane's pattern. They will take him to the same place. They will use the same methods. They are creatures of habit. It's their only weakness." "And mine?" she asked, her head tilting. "What's my weakness now?" He looked at her, at the cold resolve in her eyes, the way she held the gun not like a novice, but like an extension of her own will. "You tell me." She thought of her brother's smile, of a sister she never knew, of the life that was stolen from both of them. The weakness, the love, the grief, the humanity, was still there. A deep, hot core beneath the ice. But it was no longer a liability. It was the primer. "It's time, isn't it?" she said. He nodded. "It's time." She stood, holstering the pistol he'd given her, slipping the micro-explosive into a hidden seam in her jacket. She was no longer the girl who signed the contract. She was something else. A consequence. Adrian watched her, and in his eyes was no pride, no hope, only a stark, terrifying realization. He had needed a weapon, and he had created one. But he had no idea if he was still the one holding the trigger. "Then let's go," Ariel said, her voice quiet, final. "I'm done with lessons." She walked toward the bunker's exit, not waiting to see if he followed. The student had finished her studies. The test was about to begin. Like, comment, and subscribe for part 2. Part 2 will